Of all of the mantras in the yoga tradition, which one do people chant when something goes wrong?
The Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra, every single time. When someone is sick, when someone is dying, when someone is afraid.
Why this one?
Because it doesn't ask for eternal life. It asks for ripeness and fullness of the life. There's a difference.
Ripe like a cucumber?
As the cucumber is loosened from its stem when it's ripe, may we be loosened from the fear of death, but not from immortality.
So it's not a mantra against dying, it's a mantra for not dying before you're ready.
This is the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra.
I've practiced yoga consistently for over 10 years now, and I know that the most important part of building consistency is community. Other people to hold you accountable. And second to that is a solid practice plan to help you experience the true benefits of the practice. And this is exactly why I created the OmSom App. It's a free study tool to help you learn the Sanskrit and the philosophy of yoga. Plus, it's the home to our online community, which we call Sadhana Sangha. Every single month, the team and I offer 5 practices, and I guide you through an Asana workshop as well as a subtle technique, and we translate a few lines of the Yoga Sūtra together. It's honestly been my dream to create this app since I started teaching, because this is what I truly needed when I started practicing. So check it out in the show notes, or just search OmSom in the App Store. That's OmSom. Now, back to the episode. Namaste. Welcome to the OmSom Yoga and Ayurveda podcast. My name is Aaron Petty. I am a yoga teacher, yoga therapist, teacher training. I own this place along with my beautiful friend here. She's going to introduce herself.
My name is Paige Taylor. I'm a yoga teacher trainer as well, an Ayurvedic practitioner, and an anti-Ara.
Yeah, you are. I almost swore just then. We are against umming and ahhing.
No, not against that. I'm not an anti-umming and ahh, but
You're a reformed.
I'm reformed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in remission.
You're in remission. You're in recovery. Okay, so this month it is Mantra June.
It is Mantra June. Yes.
It doesn't have the ring that we wanted, but that's what it is. And today we're exploring one of the mantras that I hold the closest to my heart, which is the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra.
Mṛtyuñjaya.
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 Mrit.
Mrit.
Yan. Mṛtyan.
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 Yeah, Mṛtyan.
You're like, yeah, but it's not quite.
Mṛtyuñjaya.
I always struggle with the rolling of my R's.
It's almost like you put an N before your R.
Mrit.
Yeah, Mṛtyan.
Mrit.
It's not a B. Anyway, it's the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra. This mantra is known as the great death-conquering mantra.
That's true.
And as we kind of alluded to in the intro, it's something that people chant when something goes wrong. It's something that people put their faith into and repeat to draw strength from when things are falling apart.
I think it's interesting, even just calling it the mantra over the victory over the great death is how we often translate it, but the death conquering mantra, there's so much taboo around death in the modern world that I think there is a little bit of resistance to this mantra as a general rule. And actually it's such a powerful mantra, but like we were alluding to last week with Gayatri, the right teachings and the right practices will always come to you at the right time. And this is something that I've felt with this mantra for a long time. I've known about it, and it's been in my experience and my awe, but only recently have I started to feel the pull towards it as sadhana. And I think there's power in that you have to be ready for these teachings and for these practices to explore them. Like we talked about last week in the Gayatri episode, these mantras are not just syllables. They are a vibration, a spanda, a pulsation, an experience of something, of the essence of the mantra. And so we're not just chanting to... we're just laughing at Aaron mmming at me, but I think it was great. Anyway, who knows? Maybe it's you that mms and ahs. It's not even me. No, it's definitely me. But yeah, this mantra is is so powerful. And so we're not only invoking through our words the conquering of death, we're bringing that into our experience. And you need to be ready for that, for sure.
Yeah. Mahā means great. It means ultimate. It means the most fantastical, the bestest. It means the greatest. Mṛtyuñ means death, or Mṛt. And Jaya means victory, right? And so in that way, it's the mantra of victory over death.
The great death.
And that idea is that death is an illusion. That's the teaching of yoga. And I can tell you for sure that if I want to go viral on Instagram in the niche of yoga, all I need to do, and I've done this multiple times, make a video about Shavasana and death.
Yeah.
And there's something in that teaching that really sparks people's interest.
It's just so taboo. We don't talk about it.
We don't. One thing I noticed when we go to India is that you see death.
A lot.
Right? You will see the cremations happening on the side of the river.
It's true.
But we don't see that here. When someone
Even
dies,
families don't see that.
you might see them pass in the hospital and then they'll be very quickly ushered away.
Yes.
And out of sight and out of mind.
And you might see them in a coffin with a viewing, but they're all like dolled up with some crazy stuff. Like it's interesting.
And our whole society is kind of built around this fear of death.
It's true.
Right? That's why paramedics have a job. That's why all of the people in the hospitals have a job. That's why the firefighters have a job, because everyone is so afraid of their body dissolving. The great teaching of yoga is that your body is impermanent, but your soul, your atma, your awareness is eternal. And every time you practice an asana class and you get to the end of that class and the teacher says, please lay down in Shavasana, you're not just laying down to relax, but you are participating in a death ritual.
Oh, God. The witches are coming for us now. I've got Stephen in the corner with his hand on his hip. If you don't know, Stephen is our skeleton and he's recently relocated back to the studio and somebody's put his hand on his hip and he's just staring right at me right now.
He is a sassy Steve right now. And so when you lay down in Shavasana, that's what you're being asked to do. You're being asked to become the Shava, which is the dead corpse.
You're being asked to practice death. Practice letting go of your body. Why does it feel so good then?
So when that time comes, you can ease into it gracefully and move into whatever's next, which is to merge back into awareness, to merge back into consciousness. Okay, so before I translate this mantra and we continue talking about this perhaps uncomfortable topic, and trigger warning that this episode will cover a little bit more of this concept. So if it feels uncomfortable for you, please feel free to skip it.
Absolutely.
And move on. Now, let's start with the story. The story I often tell in relation to the Mṛtyuñjaya mantra, and it's the story of Mārkaṇḍeya. And I'm sure that we've spoken about this before on the podcast. I'm sure I've used this in another episode. I don't remember which one.
We might have spoken about death before on the podcast, especially in the cycle of suffering, maybe, or the root of. I think it was. Remember, it was like our worst performing podcast, and it was like the root of fear and suffering or something. Yeah. It's ages ago.
Yeah.
But
it was last year I told this story.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so there was a husband and wife, and they really, really wanted to have children. Their names were Mṛkandu and Marudvati.
Okay.
In case you wanted to know.
Yeah, good to know.
Now, they did this sadhana to try and appease the gods, and eventually Shiva appeared to them and they said, Shiva, 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 please, may we have a child? And Shiva said, okay, I will give you the choice. You can have 100 sons who are dull but will live long. Or you can have one son who is brilliant and enlightened but will live for only 16 years. They looked at each other, they gave themselves a nod, and they said, we'll take the 16-year bright one. Imagine having 100 Dumbos walking around.
It's your worst nightmare.
It is. So, eventually their son was born and they named him Mārkaṇḍeya. And as Shiva promised, he was absolutely incredible, extraordinary, the brightest mind of his generation. He could recite the Vedas. He would sit in meditation for hours a day. He would go to the sages and debate with them and win. But they didn't tell him about his 16-year expiry date. But when it got close to his 16th birthday, he could see it on their faces, right? And then they had to spill the beans. Okay, Shiva told us you're only going to live till 16. And he was like, okay, well, I'm outie. He left. And he goes down to the temple and he sits by the Shiva Lingam and he goes into the deepest, deepest, deepest samadhi. Now, when Yama arrives to take him away, Yama is the god of death, nobody's home. He's so deep in samadhi that there's no soul in the body anymore. Yeah. It's just a body sitting in a temple. And so Yama sends some henchmen, they lasso him. And then as soon as Mārkaṇḍeya realizes that Yama is there and he's going to take him away, he throws his arms around the Shiva Lingam. And then Shiva comes out. And he's very angry because they've woken him from his slumber. And he kicks Yama in the chest and kills him.
Oh, no.
He kills death.
Oh, dear.
And this is obviously a big problem because now no one can take the souls away. And so they say, well, we need to do something about this. And Shiva says, okay, well, the only way I will bring back Yama is that Mārkaṇḍeya can live. But they said, but you've got this soul contract with him. He can't live a day over 16. And then Shiva says, well, he will never be a day over 16. And he lived his life out as a 16-year-old boy, but a brilliant one. And Mārkaṇḍeya is now named as one of the Sapta Rishis, the 7 Rishis.
Wow.
So.
Who else is in the 7?
Vashista. No, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll research that. I'm curious about that.
All right.
What is the 7 list? It's okay. Circle back. We'll
Parshuram. I don't know.
Anyway.
But next episode, I'll come back with the list of the 7 Sapta Rishis. Okay. So this mantra then, as we said in the last episode, is attributed to Mārkaṇḍeya's state of samadhi in that moment before Yama came for him. And that's to say that when you chant this mantra, the idea is that you will enter into a similar samadhi. So let's do a translation because this translation is a classic and it will help us to understand what the purpose of this whole cucumber thing is. And whenever we translate this mantra and I say like a cucumber, everyone starts laughing. But it's actually a very potent teaching.
It's a potent analogy, but we get so caught up on the cucumber. So let's get into it.
And it's actually because cucumber is a very poor translation.
Yes, we were talking about this.
Yeah. Okay, so Om, as we said in the last couple of episodes, Om always is the beginning of these mantras. Om Triambakam, the one who has 3 eyes. Yajamahe, we worship you. Right? And this one with the 3 eyes is a very primal form of Shiva called Rudra. Rudra is one of the first deities mentioned in the Rig Veda. And Rudra means the one who is howling with compassion, the one who has the most compassion for the state of humanity, the suffering of humanity is Rudra. And he's not howling because he's a werewolf, but he's howling because he feels everyone's pain. And so this mantra, the first line, is dedicated to Rudra Shiva because Rudra Shiva is the one who understands and has compassion for our suffering.
Yes. And the root of all suffering, according to the Yoga Sutras, is abhinivesha, which is the fear of death.
Yes. This mantra, as we said in the beginning, is chanted when something goes wrong, right? When someone is sick, when someone's suffering, when someone's dying, or when our life is kind of just falling apart. Right? We call out to Rudra because Rudra is the one who understands that. Yeah. So, Om Triambakam Yajamahe means?
3-eyed one, we worship you.
Okay. Then, Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam means the one who is fragrant and the one who increases the spiritual nourishment. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Ready?
Okay, I was waiting for that but you didn't.
I'm trying not to.
No. Urva Rukmiva Bandhanan.
This is the line.
Okay, Bandhanan means to be bound, and the urva rukmiva is the urva, the ripeness of the rukmiva. Rukmiva is commonly mistranslated as a cucumber.
Okay.
Because the rukmiva fruit is similar in shape to a cucumber, and it also sits on a vine like a cucumber.
Okay.
But unlike a cucumber, which we have to kind of, and if you do any gardening, you know you have to kind of twist and yank the cucumber off of the vine, or you got to get some scissors and cut it off the vine. But the rukmiva fruit doesn't do that. But actually, when the rukmiva fruit is ripe, it turns yellow and then it drops.
Interesting.
And I think this is why the cucumber thing is just so, it's like, obviously we don't have that fruit in the Western world. So we say, well, a cucumber's close enough, so we'll just call it a cucumber. But cucumbers don't really have that quality. But this urva rukmiva is the ripe rukmiva fruit which falls from the vine.
Okay.
So as that cucumber, we'll call it, when it's ripe, falls from the vine freely, mrityur mukshya mamritat, may I be freed from death, but not from mamritat, not from immortality. Yeah? So when I chant this mantra, I'm saying Shiva, Rudra, the one who has three eyes, the one who is fragrant like my spiritual essence, the one who increases my spiritual nourishment, please, when I'm ready, and only when I'm ready, free me from this fear of death and allow me to become immortal. But not in this body. Don't make this body immortal, but make my soul immortal. Yeah. Allow me to remember that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it's just, that's the whole idea of the cucumber. I think it's such a beautiful sentiment.
It is.
But it's kind of funny the first time you hear about it.
And it's just still a bit taboo.
Comparing yourself to a cucumber.
And talking about death and there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there is a lot. There's a lot. So I think because of that association with death, this mantra then becomes something that people kind of fear. They're like, oh, it's too scary, it's too powerful. But actually it's saying, please increase the amount of nourishment that I received.
It's like Ojas-building.
Yeah, it's so Ojas-building. It's the most Ojas-building mantra. It's so nourishing. And please remind me when I'm ready that I'm not this body and that my soul will live forever.
Beautiful.
Oh, wonderful. I really love it. That's all I have to say. I really love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Episode over.
Where does this mantra appear first in the texts?
Let's do it.
Do you know?
No idea. I assume the Rig Veda.
Yeah, good work. Nice inference there, Paigey. It does come from the Rig Veda, and it's dedicated to Rudra in a certain part of the Veda called, what is it called? Anyway, it's a part of the Veda that's dedicated to Rudra, and it's attributed to Vashistha. We sit in Vashista's cave when we go to India.
If you want to come to India, join our 300-hour intake. We start in September 2026 and we'll meet in India in April 2027. So
and you and I and Paigey can sit in the cave where Vashistha sat and likely, maybe, chanted this mantra. Or received this mantra. Yeah. As the result of his
that sounds like an opportunity of a lifetime if you ask me.
And we'll go very early so there's no tourist crowds.
So if you are 200-hour qualified, check out our 300-hour. Doesn't matter where in the world you live. 7 weekends over 7 months online, completely online with us. And then 2 weeks in India altogether, non-negotiable. You have to come.
And we will practice this mantra together.
True.
Okay, this story that I gave you at the start, it comes from a few different places. I think that's really interesting that this story, it ends up in a bunch of different places.
Yeah,
it's in the Mahabharata.
Interesting.
There is a Purana called the Mārkaṇḍeya Purana. It's also in the Bhagavata Purana, the Shiva Purana, and the Skanda Purana.
Interesting.
Same story in all of those places.
It's very important.
Very important story. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is a line from Krishna which says, one who, at the time of death, remembers me alone and departs from the body attains my state. Of this, there is no doubt. This is a huge thing in in the Hare Krishna tradition is like, that's why they practiced the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, so that they remember it at that moment.
Oh.
That's why they do it.
Wow, that's cool.
So that they remember it at the moment of death. Because of this line in the Bhagavad Gita, that at the time of death, if you remember Krishna, you can depart from the body and attain the state of Krishna, the samadhi of Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
What's also interesting is this, the Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata, and Yudhishthira, which is Arjuna's older brother, has a conversation with Mārkaṇḍeya. And Mārkaṇḍeya tells him this story.
Interesting.
It's the earliest source.
Wow.
Is in the Mahabharata. I just like post. If you want to go and read it, I would highly recommend hearing it from Mārkaṇḍeya's mouth.
I was like, I think I want to read the Bhagavad Gita. I bought it when I went in Bali the first time this year. I bought that translation that Myra likes, Eknath, that one of the Bhagavad Gita, because she likes that translation of the Yoga Sutras. Is that right? I don't remember. Anyway, I bought it, but now I'm like, that's what I'm gonna go pick up tonight.
Okay, cool. Enjoy that.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, that's my textual references.
Great.
Tell me about Ojas.
Yeah, I think it's so funny that we said that, but yeah, I think it's interesting that we can speak about the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya and there's so much fear or anxiety around this mantra, but actually it is so nourishing and so healing, that it is this Ojas-building. It's increasing that vitality and that nourishment. We've done podcast episodes on Ojas before. You can go back and listen, but it's the subtle essence of Kapha dosha. It is this experience that's our vital immunity and
it's your immune system.
It's our expression for life and our vigor for life and our joy and love in life. And so the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra is inherently Ojas building because we're asking for that. We're honoring that. And only like Ojas, like the word ripeness is so Ojas, like it's so Ojas coded that we want to be full and we want to be ripe. And only when we are not anymore do we surrender to death, surrender to that. And I think that's really powerful. So Ojas building all round, if you feel called to the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra or it has appeared to you in certain teachings or experiences with your teacher, amazing.
Like throw away your lemon and honey and chant the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra.
Maybe. And if you want some beginner Ojas building practices, start with some ghee or dates. They don't have to be this full on. But yeah, I think the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra is powerful for all of the doshas as well. If we speak about it as this removing the fear of death, it's inherently pacifying for Vata dosha. It's grounding. Vata dosha types have that tendency towards fear. And so when there is a Vata imbalance, it shows up as fear and anxiety. So chanting this mantra and really like feeling into the essence of it and that freedom from the fear of death is inherently Vata pacifying and grounding. I think that with the Pitta predominant types, this mantra can be really helpful to just remember that nourishment and remember that ripeness, that we want to feel ripe and full in life, to have the experience of life so that when we are ready for death, I think that Pitta types can have that tendency to work, burn out, and maybe miss the point of life, miss that fullness and that ripeness. So I think that that's a powerful reminder for Pitta dosha types. And then Kapha predominant types have that tendency to lull into depression, to lull into grief, to lull into heaviness, especially around the concept of death. People dying around them, anything like that, it can kind of like draw them into that despair. And the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra is this beautiful gift that we can offer to free ourselves from that fear, and something that we can offer to people who have died or are dying or in that liminal space between, that it can offer us some solace and some faith, shraddha, unshakable faith that there is something beyond death and that it is a liberation. And that can be really helpful for Kapha dosha too.
Good for all doshas.
Good for all doshas.
Okay, so practically, with any mantra, sit down and chant it, right? It is full of syllables. There are many syllables to learn. It is one of those ones that I often hear from people just like, oh, this is too much. I don't want to learn this. There's so many words. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam.
It's a big mantra.
It's a big mantra. But I think these things are helpful for us.
Absolutely.
Like if you can't remember the 4 lines of the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra, how are you going to remember your yoga class, the sequence that you wrote that goes for an hour? You know, like I think mantra is such a good memory retention tool.
Absolutely. It's a great tool for smriti.
So just sit, but use it wisely, right? The same warning that I gave for the Gayatri mantra. Like this is one of the very powerful mantras of the tradition, one of the very tightly held mantras of the tradition. So wait until you're ready. And if that time is now, then sit in your meditation, take your mala, chant it 108 times, or just chant it 11 times. But use it in a time when it's appropriate, right?
Yeah.
The other practical thing that I would say is that this is very commonly used when someone is sick, where someone would chant it on behalf of the person who is sick. So if you have a relative who's sick, if you have a friend who is sick, you can use this mantra in that way. Like personal story is I chanted it when my grandmother was passing away, when she was on her deathbed. And it was a really powerful experience. And I've heard the same story from many, many people. Most of them are Indians, but they'll say, you know, we chanted this when my so-and-so passed away, and we chanted it for 108 days past that time as like a period of mourning to help us with the grief and to help their essence be nourished as they move into this new stage of life.
Yeah, for me, I get so sad when I see the trucks full of cows. Every time I see trucks full of cows, I will chant the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya mantra 3 times. Just as an offering for the cows that, you know, may you not be fearful of death. May it liberate you. Yeah, that's one way that I weave it into my life. It makes me feel like I have something to offer them, or some way I can help that suffering. Yeah.
Okay. So the Rukmiva fruit, it does not ask for more time.
There
in the
was
vine.
one thing I was going to say. Sorry.
What was that? It didn't need to be the end.
It was going to wind it up. But if you're interested in learning these mantras, we haven't spoken about it yet, but we're looking at all of these in Sadhana Sangha. If you're not already a part of our online platform, all of the practices on Sadhana Sangha this month are either asana practice with mantra weaved in, or just mantra practice. So there's the Mahā Mṛtyuñjaya practice, there's the Gayatri, Om, and the next 2 mantras we'll explore in the next 2 weeks. Jump on the OmSom app. It's free to download. And then Sadhana Sangha is $22 a month.
Australian dollars.
It's an absolute bargain. But if you want to explore these mantras a little bit more, that's the way to do it. Yeah. Now you can give us your closing line.
Let yourself be like the Rukmiva fruit. Do not push towards enlightenment. Do not strive for the state of yoga, but allow that experience to happen when you are ripe, when you are ready. Okay. Thanks for joining. We love you. We hope you have the best day. And if you really, really enjoyed this podcast, we would love it if you would share it with someone else. And if you would head over to our website and just have a look at what's going on. Our 200-hour training in Sri Lanka is starting in 2 weeks.
Crazy, 5th of July. If you've got no plans, if we still have a spot left, fly over to Sri Lanka and meet us there. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
I don't have a reason why you wouldn't.
Literally.
We'll have coconut together. We'll
chat yoga for 3 whole weeks. Oh my God, a dream.
Yeah. Speaking of coconuts, no, I'm not. I'll leave that for next time. All right, see ya.
Adios.